This is perfect. I think we're going over there.
I knew exactly what you meant, George. I knew exactly what you meant.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today. This is a phenomenal occasion for the city of Garfield. It would not be possible for us to be here without the help of Investors Bank. When we talked about doing this program, I reached out to investors and they immediately agreed to help us. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce, for a few words of welcome, the manager of our new Investors Bank here at Garfield, Danuta Katoska-Sheka. Danuta.
I would like to extend a hello to many of our Investors Bank friends and family who have joined us today for this groundbreaking event. I would also like to welcome all of our neighbors from Garfield community, Mayor Tana Raymond, City Manager Tom Dutch, Garfield members of Council, and our local community newspapers. I would like to thank the City of Garfield and the Venetians and the core group site developers for sponsoring this event. My team is very excited to be here, especially here in this our new building, new branch, new shopping plaza. We are ready and eager to serve Garfield community. And while Investors is new to this town, our members are not. Most of us live in this community. I am confident we'll soon see that Investors is a different bank, one that is making a difference for our customers and community that we serve. Within the several weeks from now, I will be inviting all of you to come back for the official grand opening of our branch. We will celebrate with special banking offers for business and personal needs. So thank you so much for coming in today and enjoy the time.
Thank you very much. Danuta does live in the city of Garfield. She resides in the old Colasino residence. The Colasinos were a prominent family in the city of Garfield, and Danuta is equally prominent and an excellent choice by Investors Bank to lead this bank.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our mayor, Tana Raymond.
Thank you everyone for coming out. This is a wonderful, wonderful day for the city of Garfield. The collaboration between the developers and the city and Jimmy from the Venetian, who we all love, has been just great. Just look at this development. It is beautiful. It is something to be proud of. It is something great for our city, and we really, really do appreciate it. I can't wait till everything is open so we can start coming to shop and buy. I always like to keep things in our community whenever I need to buy, and I would ask you all to do the same. And I'll tell you, I'm so impressed with the development that if there's any more property in Garfield that you want to develop, please let us know.
Let us talk afterwards.
Very good. Thank you all so much, and please make sure you patronize the bank and the development. This is our town, they are part of us, and we need to support them. Thank you so much.
This kind of a development takes a real collaboration. The redevelopment agency kind of starts the process. They say what they'd like to do. It goes to the planning board, it goes to the mayor and council. The mayor and council bless it. Then it goes back to the redevelopment agency. Then it goes back to the planning board, and then it goes back to the mayor and council. So it is a time-consuming process, but the process in this case has worked very, very well. I mean, the development is absolutely incredible. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to call upon the chairman of the redevelopment agency, Mr. Roger Hedl.
morning to our mayor and city council, our city manager, esteemed guests, especially the planning board and the redevelopment agency. This is a cold and snowy morning, and the weather is a good reflection of the reason why we're here. We're breaking ground for yet another wonderful project in our city. The ground is cold and hard, but the sun will be shining on us, promising a bright future for us and the citizens of Garfield. Since the inception of the redevelopment agency a few years ago, many projects have begun and several are completed or near completion. At this time, I have to recognize a few of the founding members and the early members of the redevelopment agency, Rosemary and Louis Aloya, Dr. Christian Raymond, Frank Calandrillo, all of whom served on the redevelopment agency and helped us get to where we are today. The Passaic Street Walmart project is growing and making life a lot better for the neighborhood people. These businesses have created jobs for many and have given much and a needed boost to the customers. The apartments being built on River Road have attracted many young professionals to our town. They have in turn given a new attitude to those who live in the area and who pass the impressive buildings on their way down River Road. I have contact with so many people who know and love Garfield, and in every case they look at the wonderful projects with pride for their hometown. The Riverfront Park, which we see right here, is a thing of pride for everyone who walks and drives through the area. The new preschool and middle school have allowed our young students to learn in a state-of-the-art educational setting. Another new school is being built on Marcellus Place, which is even having more students an opportunity to attend school with pride and dignity. Yes, Garfield is on the move. Garfield is growing in a positive direction. Garfield is meeting the needs of its citizens as we move into the 21st century. Today, as we gather to break this ground for the final phase of this latest project, I can't help thinking about the generations who came before us. The Eastern Europeans, the Southern Europeans who toiled in these factories that once stood on this property, they're smiling down on us today. Samuel Hurd, who built the original woolen mill, gave generously to the community, helping those long ago immigrants live and raise their families with dignity. Today's project is moving forward because of the hard work and investment of the Cormark Group. These people have invested in the future of Garfield, and just like Samuel Hurd and the citizens of 100 years ago, Garfield will thrive and prosper because of their foresight and initiative of the Cormark Group. Cormark believes in Garfield. Cormark knows that Garfield is moving forward and be a 21st century city, providing its citizens with all the conveniences of good life. I have to recognize Larry Leibowitz, Tom Turo, George and Jimmy Corgelis, and Michael from the Venetian for all of their hard work and investment in our city.
The Venetian.
When I was growing up in Garfield and the Hurd Woolen Mills stood on this property, I remember the sheep grazing right out here in front, just a few feet from where we're standing. Today we welcome a new era where thriving businesses replace those peaceful sheep, promising a bright future even on this cold, blistering morning. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time it gives me great pleasure, the developers, there's a bunch of them, Mr. Heddle introduced all their names, but to speak on behalf of the redevelopers of this site, it's my pleasure to call on Tom Turpin.
That's a tough act to follow. We're basically just want to thank a lot of people. I want to thank everybody for coming for the groundbreaking, the final phase of the mill shops at Garfield. And I just like to start by just thanking an awful lot of people. Hopefully I don't forget anybody. I'd like to thank Mayor Raymond, of course, former Mayor Delaney, former Mayor Calandrillo, Township Attorney Francis Reagan, and former Attorney Chris Dictus, Township Engineer Kevin Boswell, the Police Department, the Fire Department, the Building Department, of course, Chairman Roger Heddle and the Redevelopment Agency. They've been so instrumental in this project's success. And last but not least, the best city manager anybody could ever have, Tom Dodge. away on a daily basis, making problems go away. So he's been amazing. And I want to thank our team at Cormark, Maria Hellison, Project Manager David Hellman, Louis Lipinacci for guiding this project through all the different phases. You know, the remediation, the demolition, the construction. Our leasing specialists, Jordan Lewitz and Brian Wasilenko for leasing the space and finding the right tenant mix. And also my Cormark Garfield partners, Jimmy Corgalis, George, Mike, Ed Jayden, and Larry Leibowitz. Of course, Wildwire Investors Bank, thank you for coming here. And our site contractor, Anthony Mattina, who's doing a fantastic job, even though we complain all the time, he's doing a great job. This project did take a village, and we really greatly appreciate all the cooperation, assistance, and patience afforded to us by the Garfield Redevelopment Agency. There were so many obstacles thrown at us during the course of planning, development, but as a team, we persevered and stand here today ready to start the final phase and complete this project. By late summer 2015, this project will be completed, fully operational, and welcome all the residents of Garfield. The finished development will also include a fountain and monument dedicated to the mill workers. We worked on, who worked up here at the turn of the 20th century. It's very important to the Garfield Redevelopment Commission to acknowledge the history of the former mill, as is us. The fountain and monument will be located at the corner of River Drive and Columbus, right over there, across from the entrance to the park. And I want to thank everybody for coming by and celebrating with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, the mayor and council have spoken with me about the possibility of extending the Riverfront Park. We're looking at the avenues that are available. Unfortunately, a lot of federal and state funding has dried up. We used a tremendous amount of it to do what we did here, but none of us are quitters. There's money available in Bergen County Open Space. I've met with the Bergen County Open Space Trust and had some preliminary discussions with them. There's going to be a presentation next month on the rehabilitation of the Passaic Street area. We did a study of the first ward, some 46 blocks. We determined that there's about 19 blocks that need to be addressed. No city could do 46 blocks. 19 would be tough. We're going to look at those 19, prioritize them, and come back to the governing body and look for their support to do some cleanup on the other end of the city. Mr. Heddle talked about the new $28 million school that's going to be built on the corner of Marcellus and Passaic Street. That will add to what Walmart has already done there. We need to do a little bit more to make that area more attractive to commuters who could use that second train station in the city of Garfield. I've had some preliminary discussions already with the state commissioner of the Department of Transportation on making Garfield a transit village location so that there could be some development for commuters along the tracks along the Passaic Street area. So there's more to come. But for the success of today, it goes to many administrations. You know, Tom said before, they started with Mayor Calandrillo, they worked with Mayor Delaney, and they finished with Mayor Ring. Okay, so some of these things take time, but the work, the result has been absolutely incredible. So thank you for your patience. We will continue to work as hard as we can for you. I'd like to thank the volunteer members of the planning board, the volunteer members of the redevelopment agency, and the mayor and council who get a nominal salary, but it really goes all to ads and tickets to events anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Have a wonderful day. Lunch is on the Cormark Group by the Market Basket. Thank you.